This is the 400-year-old Mughal road, carved through the very core of the mighty Pir Panjal range. It's a road that's seen bloodiest battles and mightiest armies march by. But today, it will be a silent witness to an army of a different sort. An army made of men and machines, metal and rubber, speed, skill and horsepower. Welcome to the Mughal Road Rally 2011, a two-day rally where you either perform or perish. It all begins in Srinagar through Shopian and then climbs very rapidly to Pir Ki Gali, down to Baflias and ending Jammu for day 1. Day 2 rides back from Jammu to Kishtwar, climbs the snowy Sinsan Pass, descends down to Daksum and ends at Srinagar. Last year the Mughal Road Rally was a driver's nightmare. The terrain had reduced the men and machines into a mangled mess.
The Mughal Road, boy, it was a surprise. Oof. It was as if the car went through a complete bashing. It was just as if someone had a baseball bat and bashed the living daylights out of the car.
Our car, four-wheel drive packed off, so we did the whole stage in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and then our clutch went off, then we had a flat, then our engine blew. But the challenge was to bring it back home in one piece, and we managed to do that somehow.
Last year the road was so rough, you couldn't push the car to more than 60%. Today on 2 of the stages, 3 of the stages, you can push it to almost 120% of the car's capabilities.
Sure, the Mughal Road might be smoother and a slight bit saner this time, but with the tarmac surface, the rally this year has become extremely technical.
Most people would obviously imagine that if it's tarmac road, it'll be easy for rallying, but that's not true.
Wide, sweeping, very fast stage should be quite interesting in the foothills.
In terms of technical difficulty, it's close to an 8. Every guy can go straight fast on the straights. It's how you tackle the corners.
You think you can drive well? Well, you won't know until you've driven the Mughal Road.
With the higher speeds, and you have to be far more technical to control a car at those speeds.
Before the assault on the Pir Panjal began, the contenders had to go in for a quick scrutiny. Tag-alongs like us also stickered our steed, our car of choice being the Skoda Yeti. So the scrutiny is over, the sticking is almost done and the car looks raring to go. Now, though the rally starts tomorrow, we've had our own little adventure. I mean, we've been driving this Yeti all the way from Mumbai, which is a staggering 2,500 kilometers from Srinagar. All this while the car has held up beautifully well. But tomorrow is going to be a different story, because tomorrow we're going to take on something far, far, far bigger than ourselves, and that would be the mighty Pir Panjal mountain range. So it was the abominable snowman versus the mountains. Sure, the Yeti is not beefy, brawny or badass to look at, but it's got adequate ammo to claw up to the top. A strong 2-liter diesel heart, 140 bhp and a healthy 320 Newton meters of torque, distributed to all 4 wheels by a very able 4x4 system. And so, early one morning, the madness began. So it's 4:30 AM, the day has started, and we are tailing a convoy of officials. We headed straight to the vantage point where we're going to set up all our cameras and going to get you all the action from the rally, and also, in the meantime, tell you how the Skoda Yeti did in her maiden run on the Mughal Road Rally. The stage was set. For starters, we had a 63 kilometers long competitive from Dubjan to Baflias. Yes, it's got strips of tarmac, but some bits, like the last year, were absolutely brutal. Now we all know that the Mughal road is raw, rocky and crude, but the rocks here are not like the rocks in Raid. I mean, the rocks here are pretty much unforgiving. I mean, they can double up as a butcher's knife. Check this one, for instance. Check out the blade. I mean, no exaggeration, I can skin a rhino with this one. The tires are going to have a tough time.
There's a lot of rock debris, so chances of punctures, chances of losing it over stones under braking and all are high. So those are, at critical points, they need to be, alert enough to cope up.
There was an eerie lull before the storm, and then came a 4x4 avalanche. Beasts blaring full throttle. Exhaust notes filled up the valley, and every driver was maxing his machine.
I believe you'll have to go flat out from the start.
Right when it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, man, go.
Here it's attack from the word go.
From the first second, there would be a running flat out for points. So I think it's pretty much going to be a sprint event.
Road is in real good shape, so it encourages you to go faster. And the word of caution to the driver is only going to be that drive within your limits. You don't need to be tempted by what could be. Be tempted by what your limitations are. Keep within them, and that's good enough.
The first competitive is not a metal mashing stage, but it's fast enough to chew your brakes and fry engines sooner than you think.
We have a large portion of that stage is also downhill, which will be pushing the brakes. There'll be a lot of heating on the brakes. Engines will be overheating on the climb.
We always feel that on the downhill, the threat potential of accidents is high.
But with straights merging into tricky twisties, the stakes are high.
It's how you tackle the corners. Every guy can go straight fast on the straights. It's how you tackle the corners.
See, the first stage, the uphill was quite rough, no doubt about that. But it wasn't a very, very car-braking stage. It wasn't a car-breaker, really. If one actually tackled the turns and the rough sections with some sort of a precision, it wasn't a tough stage.
Sunny Sidhu drove pedal to the metal and completed the 63-kilometer stage in 57 minutes flat. He slashed last year's best time by half. Rana and Baba also clocked it just under an hour. And just as the last competitive car passed by our camera, it was time to document the Yeti's maiden run on the Mughal road. With Yeti stacked to the brim with luggage and occupants, the not very high ground clearance had further dipped down, and then you had the moody mountain climate. So we're descending down from Pir Ki Gali and the weather is constantly deteriorating. I mean, there's a thick cloud cover, and a couple of moments back I couldn't make out what's in front of me, so we're taking it really easy because there is no road first of all, and the Skoda's ground clearance is not anything to write home about. So I'm taking it really easy because the car is stacked with people and luggage and there's no scope to push it any further. The clouds opened up and things got a bit messy. But the Yeti's 4x4 made sure that we rolled over everything with ease. So the drive was fantastic. It's almost come to an end. We just crossed the Baflias bridge and it was a great fun ride. How was it for you?
The whole experience of driving on the Mughal road, coming through all the clouds, the fog, the terrain, the road, the no road, and whatever. It was just amazing.
It can't get any better than this. I mean, it's beautiful, it's good fun to drive, and it's soaked in history. For instance, I mean, this is trivia for all you viewers watching it back home. I mean, we're at a place called Baflias, and it derived its name from Bucephalus, which is the horse of Alexander the Great. It's buried somewhere here. It's believed to be buried. I mean, legend has it. I mean,
yeah, I saw a lot of horses on the hills, so probably it's a horse town.
I think we should get back because we got a long transport back to Jammu.
Let's go.
After a long transport to Jammu, this is where everyone stood at the end of day one.